We have about 10 acres of land around here. So it's actually, they're not flat. It's only some of the parts are flat. We have more mountainous areas. So it's spread across to the end of here and towards the backside. But we also have about 5 acres of land deep in the woods, in the forest. That's in the middle of the forest. Okay, so what we've basically tried to do here is we have tried to bring back the ecosystem that existed here about 60 years ago. The entire area was paddy fields, and so many people used to work here, and so when you actually walked across here, you could only see paddies, you could only see rice fields. But about 60 years ago, we stopped that. We replaced, not just as a lot of people have replaced that with mostly rubber. So what we have done is we came back and we looked into it and said, well, this is not sustainable. We have to harvest things to actually get by. So we came up with the idea that, okay, why don't we just go back to the paddy fields? At least we can sustain ourselves. We actually decided to remove the whole rubber trees and put back the paddy fields. So it did cost us a little bit, but I think it's been quite rewarding. So we have actually converted a part of it. The idea is to actually convert more and extend our paddy fields to how it was in the past. Well, we haven't done, we didn't have to go and do a lot of researches in terms of soil, what is the mineral values and things. As I told you, we are trying to stick on what we already know traditionally. We don't want to introduce an ecosystem that has not existed here before. So we want to actually go back to the roots. So the whole idea of the project is going back to the roots. So the mound, the biggest mound we have, it's called the Meditation Mound. So we call this place as a meditation valley. 3 water sources. So one is coming from the Meditation Mound. So that's the water that comes down to the valley. We have channeled those 2 into one, and it comes here. And this one comes from another mount on the other side. So this is a junction where the water from the 3 mounds actually join. And this is perennial. We get it throughout the year. It's spring water. So this is the purest form of water with all the medicinic values, because it touches all the roots and it comes from the mount, and you can drink it straight away. In fact, when I do water fasting, this is the first when I did my water fast in India for the first time, and I actually used this water to do water fasting, and I felt more rejuvenated, and my fasting was, I had more energy, and I can pin down to the fact that because I had spring and natural water, my body was more conditioned than before. Now, I do a 10 days water fast every 6 months. Yeah, that's something I've been doing for the last 4 years. This is completely eco-friendly. So this is what we use for irrigation. It's basically water from the mound. It's spring water. There's no electricity whatsoever. What we've done is we've actually taken a direct connection from the natural springs, and we have channeled that water into the fields, and it's purely gravity that pushes the water up and irrigates the whole place. And this is how all these vegetables get water and get irrigated. We are really, really gifted to have this. It's 24/7, 365 days non-stop. So this is a natural spring. Actually, there's no electricity here. It's pure gravitation pull that brings this, and this water goes all the way to the house. And this is a temporary arrangement we have made for a shower. I had plans to actually bottle it and sell it, but in India to get license for all those, if you're anywhere in the world like US, UK, you have water from Fiji, and Fiji water is really expensive. So they actually get it from spring like this. But if you try to go and do the industry in Kerala, you will not get any license to do that. So basically I studied in Kerala, and dad and parents, they were in Nigeria. So I used to travel to Nigeria, did a bit of school in there, came back. I studied in about 8 different schools. Then I did my graduation in commerce in Kerala University. After that I moved to New Zealand. So I did my postgrad in business in New Zealand, in Waikato University. It's one of the best management universities in New Zealand. So I was actually the elected student union president back in New Zealand. So I was actually the first international student to be elected as a president of a student union in New Zealand, and I got re-elected in 2005. And so I think I was the first one to get re-elected in Waikato University. So that was an interesting era. Since Dad was in Africa, he always wanted me to move back there, and my brother was settled in Nigeria. So then I moved to Nigeria in 2008. Ever since I've been in Nigeria. I've done 2 jobs in Nigeria. I've worked for a electric company, and also worked as my last job was with Mercedes-Benz. I was a managing director for the Mercedes-Benz in Nigeria. That was my last corporate job. After that, I've been doing some consultancy in management, mainly in automobile sectors. My dad passed away last March, so we came back for that. Ever since it's been Corona, and then we were in India, then we decided to stay here and just make the best out of in India when we were in India. It gave me an opportunity, gave my brother as well an opportunity to actually stay here and spend some time and get into farming and do the things that we always loved, and bring back the old legacy of farming. And it hasn't been easy. It's been very tough, but we're still pushing, and we still believe that we can make it and come up with something very unique in Kerala. So basically, it's a 5 acres farm we have here, and it's in the middle of in the middle of the forest, and we've got wild elephants all around. We do intend to bring people in for camping. Ideally, we don't want too many people to come in. They would come and do a one-day trek up the hill, come here, stay, have probably a barbecue, go back on the same day, or spend 1 or 2 days. So it's mainly for people who are nature lovers. We've got different crops here, starting from papaya to potatoes. We've got sweet potatoes, we've got cassava, we've got yam, we've got the elephant foot yam, and also fresh chilies, cucumbers, and also we have bananas as well, different varieties of bananas. My first passion would be horses. Yeah, I love horses, and I've always loved horses. It started from the time when Dad used to take me riding back in Nigeria. Dad's boss actually had horses. Also, I was blessed to actually study in Kodaikanal, so that's where I could ride into the woods. So literally, I would ride into the woods when I was, I had the confidence there. The reason why I had the guts to actually go and get a horse and bring from all the way from Rajasthan and have, keep my own horse. So this is Rani. So I just made a trip to New Delhi, and I happened to travel around Jaipur, and I saw Rani in a horse mela, and I just I'm taking her home. So just took her all 3,000 miles, and nobody actually knew that she's going to be here. Only 2 or 3 of my friends knew that I bought Rani, and finally when she came home, everybody was even my brother was a bit shocked. I'm always passionate about teaching horsemanship, so I don't believe in teaching riding. If I teach a kid, I would like to teach horsemanship. Basically, how to take care of a horse. What feed do you give? What are the things you do on a daily basis? I mean, how do you actually polish? How do you actually take care of a horse? How do you actually brush a horse? How do you actually clean the hoof and all those kind of things? Yeah. So that's something I'm very passionate about, teaching people who are interested in, and how to saddle a horse, and how to put the reins, and and how to what are the indications if it's not feeling well, and what are the medications, and how to do the preliminary injections. And so what we intend to do here is create an arena where people can come and ride horses. So as a first step, what we've done here is we have actually created a track all around the property that we have. It's more like a horse racing track. So when somebody comes for riding, they can actually go around. So there's trees in it, there's rocks around. It's more like an adventurous track. We have measured it. It's about 600 meters all around. So if you do one round on a horse, it's about 1.2 kilometers. Very uncommon. I mean, I was quite surprised to see the reactions of people when I go on a horse. So what I do is every week I actually choose a route to go. So when I actually sit on the horse, so I basically go to the farm, saddle the horse, and get out. And as I go past houses, people come out screaming, "Oh, look at the horse!" And like, "Kudire, kudire!" Like, "Oh my God, it's cool, calm down." So I try to go really slow when I go to the people, because everybody wants to see horse and take photos. It's guaranteed that there's over 100 photos taken every day when I go for riding. I mean, basically, I believe in naturopathy. I believe in natural living, and that's exactly what I practice. Basically, what you eat is what you are. Yeah. If you eat healthy, you take no medicines. I haven't touched any medicines in the last 8 years. My dad got me into it, so I could see the first-hand effect of how naturopathy helps. He was taking about 28 tablets and insulin every day. I took him to naturopathy, and he actually stopped taking all 28 tablets, and he stopped insulin after like 24 years of using insulin. So it just really shows how nature can cure, and how the modern medicine is actually then. What happened to him was all the after effects of the medicine he took over 30-40 years that really affected his. So I'm really a passionate believer that what you eat is what you are. So what I and my brother believe is go back to the roots. basically we could have actually got a tractor and plowed the field in the Meditation Valley. What we did is we actually got the all bullock bulls, and we did the traditional plowing with 2 bulls and traditional kalapa and things what we used in olden days. So we're just bringing back the plow, bringing back the memories. So there are 2 things I'm really passionate about, apart from every other things. The first and foremost will be recycling in Kerala. I mean, it's quite sad to see, if you go to Varkala or Trivandrum, recycling is virtually zero compared to the other developed nations, and we are a developing nations, but we are showing no sign of developing in that area. I mean, Varkala is full of bottles and rubbish, and if you go to small cities and villages, they just litter everywhere. So that's it's a very sad thing. We have tourists coming in, and this is one of the 50 must-visit destinations in the world, but we are filthy as hell. We are the most literate people in India, but we don't behave any literate when it comes to cleanliness. It should start with the government, and there should be stronger punishment and people throwing rubbish and things around. That's that's an area that I would like to contribute something for myself. I think I would like to start with the Varkala beach on that, and also around Punalur and things. So that's one area. Secondly, giving kids an opportunity to explore themselves. I mean, exploring apart from, I think parents are now more focused on giving them iPhones and iPads and things, but I think there should be more focus on giving them more entertainment and things to do, and in terms of sports and new experience like kayaking and surfing, swimming, horse riding, just taking them to the woods, just keeping them close to nature. And that's something that we don't do in Kerala too much. It's not because they don't have the opportunity. I think it's because people just don't show the interest to do that. And kids do need to enjoy the nature, not kids but adults equally they need. So these are things I'm really passionate about, and I think we can make a difference. I've always loved the woods. I mean, this is home, and I've always dreamt of coming back.